Blacklist Hunter here, and today we're going to talk about one of the coolest villains in Hunter x Hunter and why he is truly next level. Shaiapouf is without a doubt a monstrous Nen user. Not only he is one of the royal guards of the king, he is highly intelligent, cunning and merciless, while also possessing rare and threatening Nen abilities. The first time we saw Pouf in action was against the legend Morel and Pouf was having his inner monologue on how he had failed as a royal guard since he didn't know where the king went and that he had to devote his life to the king. So during this monologue, Pouf's emotions were all over the place and he wasn't paying attention to his surroundings, so this is when Morel trapped him using his ability Smoky Jail. As soon as Morel said hello to him, Pouf immediately flew and tried to break through the smoke, and of course he couldn't break through, and furthermore he asked Morel if there is anything he could do for him to let him out, and of course our boy Morel wasn't gonna let this monster out. Pouf activated his ability Spiritual Message, which allows him to read his opponent's psychological state by diffusing butterfly dust in the air, thus analyzing the blend of emotional patterns in the aura flow, which is a pretty cool ability. This ability made Morel stop breathing since Nov had told him beforehand that the butterfly dust has a hypnosis effect. While Pouf deducted Morel's psychological state, he praised him as a warrior and saw through Morel's emotional states such as vigilance, resolve and confidence. Pouf introduced himself to Morel, stating his name while thinking to himself that Morel has a high confidence and he has a strong character. Even though the legend Morel was behind enemy lines as stated by Pouf, he still had a sense of relief as he had trapped Pouf inside with him. Pouf then took the shape of a cocoon and even Yuppie called him from outside, but of course Pouf was playing a game and was a step ahead of Morel. He wanted Morel to stay inside and not attack the cocoon, or at least that is what we thought at first. Of course Morel started doubting and was growing anxious if he was doing the correct thing staying inside with Pouf transformed as a cocoon. However, the tricky part was that Pouf had dissolved himself into tiny microscopic bugs, about 100 trillion of them, small enough to slip through the particles of smoke. These were not perceivable by Morel's eyes and slowly Pouf was breaking out of the smoky jail. Morel still was doubting himself, thinking that if he attacks it could be a trap, or maybe Pouf was transforming and it was the best choice to attack while Pouf is defenseless. However, Pouf broke out and praised Morel for his excellence of a soldier. However, Morel did attack the cocoon and saw it was empty, deactivating Smoky Jail, which surprised the royal guard Pouf. I gotta say, Morel is intelligent, but Pouf is one heck of a tricky monster with rare Nen abilities. His ability to pass through smoke and furthermore be one step ahead Morel. The whole fight was epic and it was mostly a mental battle. Pouf had estimated that Morel would stay at least 15 minutes in front of a cocoon, however Morel attacked. Next we saw Pouf dissolve and multiply into possibly thousands of particles, and Pouf is definitely a fox trying to mess with Morel as if he made a mistake attacking the cocoon, suggesting that he didn't slip through. Morel attacked some of the clones of Pouf with the smoke troopers, however they kept dividing and multiplying. While Morel decided to focus on the mission at hand and he ran and not think about Pouf's mind tricks, Pouf appeared behind him and dealt a kick, furthermore stealing his pipe and throwing it in the river. Morel even stated that Pouf is fast. Furthermore, Pouf is definitely strong physically as he knocked out Morel and he has a huge aura reserve. Pouf's ability Beelzebub is very threatening if you think about it. It can trick most enemies and throw them off balance in battle. Pouf can split himself into clones down to nano size. He can divide in various sizes. The smaller they are, the greater the number. However, the core, the main one that controls all these clones, must be the size of a bee. So if Morel hadn't released Pouf, the true bee-sized Pouf couldn't have escaped the smoky jail, and that's the tricky part. So the cocoon was empty, but the real Pouf had not escaped at all, only a part of him. The bee-sized main one was hiding among the smoke. So if Morel had realized that the true Pouf that controlled the doubles that possibly could attack the palace hunters was still inside the smoky jail, Morel would have defeated Pouf if he destroyed the main bee clone. So in reality, Pouf overestimated Morel and his ability as a soldier as stated by Pouf himself. Pouf is a master of strategy, formulating different scenarios in the Chimera, such as escaping smoky jail, getting the location of the king from Pitou while Gon was present there, tricking Pitou into thinking Komugi was safe, doing all kinds of tricks to hide Komugi from the king, even attacking Godspeed, Killua, and going after him. Pouf is definitely a tough one, a tough opponent to fight. His aura is malicious, his end made no breakdown, a experienced hunter, a manipulator with an insane amount of aura, possibly even more than a top legendary hunter like Isaac Netero. It's definitely not easy to actually defeat Pouf. He's very intelligent, he has so many mind tricks, he is a master strategist. Furthermore, he has many Nen abilities. He has even the cocoon ability that he can bestow Nen abilities on others. The transformation that happened upon him was just because of Pouf, because of his ability of cocoon. Basically, he can create soldiers without emotions but very overpowered with Nen abilities. He has spiritual message, which he can read someone's aura flow and detect their emotions. He is definitely very dangerous. His Beelzebub ability is definitely very dangerous. He can create thousands of smaller clones, he can spy on many areas, he can do many things with those. Shaiapouf can control every cell in his body, easily recreate his clones if they are destroyed, but only if they're burned. He cannot restore them. He can even make his body look like somebody else, like he did use it to trick Nefertiti by imitating Komugi's physique and voice. Pouf's Nen abilities are definitely dangerous. He can use them in different ways, and it's not an easy fight to actually defeat Pouf, and he's also very intelligent. So if you enjoy these kinds of videos, consider subscribing. Let's reach that 1000 sub goal, and I'll see you in the next Hunter x Hunter video.